Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Unique Bio Classes based on NCERT syllabus for PUC first and second year. If you like my channel, please subscribe, like and share and hit the bell icon so that you can get notifications as soon as videos are getting uploaded. Okay, we shall start today's video. In my previous video, we have discussed about human reproduction. We have started with that. In that, we have discussed about the first one, that is male reproductive system. Second, we had female reproductive system. But today, I'm not going to discuss about the female reproductive system. I shall continue with the gametogenesis. Okay, the male reproductive system, how does, as we have studied in detail, now we shall study about how does males are going to produce gametes. Okay, after the completion of this, then I shall discuss about the female reproductive system. Okay, fine. Now we are discussing about gametogenesis. In gametogenesis, we are discussing spermatogenesis. Okay, you have that one here. Okay, you can find that one here, which is called as gametogenesis. Fine. In gametogenesis, as we are we are talking about spermatogenesis. So first we shall discuss about that one. Okay. Spermatogenesis. Now, what is spermatogenesis? The process of formation of sperms. Okay, spermatogenesis, the process where sperm mother cells in seminiferous tubules of testes change into haploid sperms. Okay, the process where sperm mother cells are what? Gamete mother cells. Okay, male germ cells. These sperm mother cells, which are present in seminiferous tubules of testes, will change into haploid sperms. That process we call it as spermatogenesis. Or you can, easiest one is what? The process of the process of production of sperms from spermatogonia in testes. Okay, is called as spermatogenesis. You can write that also. The spermatogenesis, it is the process of formation of sperms in seminiferous tubules of testes. You can write that also. Okay, fine. Now, how does this one is achieved? Okay, so I shall show you that also. It is present here. Spermatogenesis, it's a schematic representation. You will find it is here in your next page, that is page number 49. Okay, schematic representation of spermatogenesis. First we shall draw this so that we can undergo complete explanation of that. Schematic representation of spermatogenesis. Okay, of spermatogenesis. Right. Now, in schematic representation of spermatogenesis, we are drawing something like this. Okay, now first one, what is this? This one is spermatogonia. Okay, if you understand this one carefully, then it is very easy to understand. Now, this one is primary spermatocyte. Now, one spermatogonia, it has produced 4 primary spermatocytes. How is this one possible? That is because of mitosis. Right? when one cell is going to divide, then it forms 4 cells, means then it is because of mitosis. And this spermatogonia, it is diploid. Okay, this spermatogonia is diploid, and 4 primary spermatocytes, each one is diploid. Okay, with this, why? Because equational division. Now spermatogonial cells, which we have drawn something like this, which was these spermatogonial cells which we have shown on the lining of their seminiferous tubules, right? So these spermatogonia, each spermatogonial cells will start to multiply. One spermatogonial cells will multiply into 4 primary spermatocytes with the help of mitosis. They will undergo mitosis and they will differentiate. Okay, they will differentiate it to primary spermatocytes. Now what will be the ploidy of a spermatogonia? That is diploid. What will be the ploidy of primary spermatocyte? It is also diploid. Each one is diploid because it is mitosis. It is an equational division. Now when does this case takes place? During puberty, that is during maturation. When males are getting matured, when males are achieving a puberty, during that time, this spermatogonia, those will start to multiply by mitosis and forms 4 primary spermatocytes. One spermatogonia is producing 4 primary spermatocytes. You can imagine so many number of spermatogonia are there, and each one will produce so many number of primary spermatocytes. Okay, then now I shall take only one. You can continue with the rest also, but it is quite confusing, so I shall take only one primary spermatocytes further. Okay, now okay, these one primary spermatocyte has been divided into 2. Then okay, now again I have taken only one and it has been divided into 2. Now first, this primary spermatocyte will undergo a growth phase. Okay, in this growth phase, these primary spermatocytes will start to store nourishment, nutrition, food required for further development. So during that, what does it undergo? It undergoes meiosis. Now this, what it has been formed, these are secondary spermatocytes. These are secondary spermatocyte, right? Now during this, we said primary spermatocyte is getting converted to secondary spermatocyte. When it is getting converted to secondary spermatocyte, here it undergoes meiosis. Okay, here it undergoes meiosis. So which means what? Now because meiosis, we have meiosis 1. First one cell will divide into 2. Again those 2 cells will divide into 4. But here we have continued with only 1. So again we have shown 2. Here we have said primary spermatocytes are diploid. What about secondary spermatocytes? These will be haploid. Why we are saying these are haploid? Because of meiosis. When meiosis takes place, then the number of chromosomes will be reduced in the daughter cells. So these are the daughter cells and this is the parental cell. So you can find that it has been reduced the number of chromosomes. Okay. This is first meiotic division. Okay, first meiosis. First time meiosis takes place here. Then again, right? Then again I am taking only both of the cells. Okay, something like this, right? Now this we call it as spermatids. Okay, now when it has been formed, this again it has been continued with meiosis, second meiosis. First meiosis completed here, which has led to the formation of haploid secondary spermatocyte, and these secondary spermatocyte, they are undergoing once again meiosis, that is second meiosis. So again these spermatids will be haploid. Okay, it forms spermatids. After the formation of spermatid, then you can find that each spermatid is getting converted to sperm. Okay, now this we call it as sperm or spermatozoa. Sperm or spermatozoa. Now how does this conversion from spermatid to sperm takes place? That is because of differentiation, which means spermatid will differentiate to form sperms. Okay, now in this, during differentiation there are 2 processes. One is spermiogenesis, another one is spermiation. About that process I shall discuss later. Excuse. Okay, here I shall start with the beginning. this was the schematic representation of spermatogenesis, where we have started with spermatogonia. It is undergoing mitosis to produce primary spermatocyte, so that it is increasing the number of spermatocytes. Then this primary spermatocyte will start with the meiosis. First meiosis takes place, then it produces secondary spermatocytes, which both are haploid. Again, second time it undergoes meiosis to form spermatids. Now these spermatids will differentiate to form this kind of structure called as sperms or spermatozoa. Now this process takes place in 3 phases. Okay, in 3 phases like this. The first phase which takes place is multiplication phase. The first phase which we have mentioned here is multiplication phase. Why we call it as multiplication phase? Because the number of primary spermatogonia has been increased, it has been multiplied, so it is multiplication phase. In the second stage, it is like this. Here, this particular stage, starting from there till here, okay, this particular stage we call it as growth phase. Why growth phase? Because primary spermatocytes, they will undergo growth. The type of cell, the shape of the cell, the size of the cell will increase, so that it is going to store a lot of nourishment, so that that nourishment can be utilized for further meiosis. So that's why it undergoes a growth phase. Okay, then next, from here till sperms are formed, that is third one, maturation phase. Maturation phase. Okay, so these are the 3 phases which you can find in schematic representation of spermatogenesis. Now this diagrammatic representation, it can be asked for 2 marks, 3 marks, 5 marks. It has been asked very easiest. First, one spermatogonia will divide into primary spermatocyte, mitosis, it undergoes differentiation. Then primary spermatocyte will undergo first time meiosis, secondary spermatocyte are formed. Each secondary spermatocyte will undergo once again meiosis to form spermatids. These spermatids will differentiate to form sperms and spermatozoa. Okay, now where it takes place, we have shown this kind of diagram. If you remember, TS of testes, in that we have shown like this, and we have shown it consists of 2 types of cells. One is spermatogonia and another one is Sertoli cells. We have shown something like this. Now the same diagram, if I am enlarging only this part, if it has been enlarged, then how does it appear? It appears something like this. Okay, now each one is spermatogonia. These spermatogonia, they will multiply. Okay, when during puberty the number of spermatogonia will increase and it will form primary spermatocytes. Okay, then primary spermatocytes will form secondary spermatocytes, then secondary spermatocytes will form spermatid, right? And then spermatid will form sperms. This is how the air conversion takes place. Now that diagram is present here in the previous page, that is page number 47. It has been shown diagrammatic sectional view of seminiferous tubules which has been enlarged. That representation is here. Now what we find, these are the spermatogonia. Okay, these are spermatogonia. What is its ploidy? It is diploid. Then these which have been shown, these are Sertoli cells. Okay, Sertoli cells, their function, we said they are providing nourishment, right? Providing nourishment for the growing sperms. So Sertoli cells. Now primary spermatogonia, it will divide to form primary spermatocytes. Okay, it undergoes mitosis to produce primary spermatocytes, which each one is diploid. Now this primary spermatocyte will produce secondary spermatocytes. Now the secondary spermatocytes will produce spermatid. These are spermatids. Now these spermatids, what does they do? They will get attached to these Sertoli cells. When they are getting, why they are getting embedded in the Sertoli cells is that they are getting these sperms, and these spermatids will get nourishment. When they are getting nutrition from the Sertoli cells, then they are getting active and they are released out from this Sertoli cells. When they are released out from the Sertoli cells, then these are active and they are released through the seminiferous tubules and reaching to the accessory ducts, that is rete, testes, vasa, efferents, epididymis, and the different parts what we said. Okay, so this is how that part takes place, which we have discussed in schematic representation. This one is actually which takes place in the seminiferous tubules. Okay, now this diagram also has been asked. You should know this diagram. It is very easy, right? First, these spermatids, they will get embedded into the Sertoli cells. From Sertoli cells, they will get nourishment and those will be released out. Now, we have used one term called as spermatogenesis earlier. Now, we find one more. One is spermiogenesis, another one is spermiation. These 2 terms we will find. Okay, Spermiogenesis is what? The spermatids are transformed into sperms by the process called as spermiogenesis. Okay, what we said, these spermatids, they are first getting attached to the Sertoli cells and they are getting nourishment. Is it? We said that the process of conversion of spermatids into sperms is called as spermiogenesis. This process we call it as spermiogenesis. The spermatids are transformed into sperms by the process called as spermiogenesis. Okay, after spermiogenesis, sperm heads become embedded in Sertoli cells and are finally released from the seminiferous tubules by the process called as spermiation. Okay, here what happens in second one, spermiation is what? The process of release of sperms from this seminiferous tubules. Okay, from Sertoli cells, and this when sperms are embedded, spermatids are embedded into the Sertoli cells, and these Sertoli cells are releasing these sperms from the seminiferous tubules. That process we call it as spermiation. Okay, we are having three terms now. One is spermatogenesis, another one is spermiogenesis, and another one is spermiation. Now what are these three? Spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is the process of formation of sperms. Spermiogenesis, the process of transformation of spermatids into sperms. Is it? When spermatids are getting transformed into sperms, we call it as spermiogenesis. Now what is spermiation? The process of release of sperms from seminiferous tubules is called as spermiation. All three definitions are there in your textbook, but they are quite confusing, so that's why you have to get clear with these terms. Spermatogenesis, it has been asked many times. Spermiogenesis and spermiation has not been asked, but this explanation will come under this one, schematic representation. If they ask explain schematic representation of spermatogenesis, you have to draw this diagram, complete a diagram, and explain about it. Its explanation is here in your textbook. This is the page number 47, and starts from here and ends till here, till spermiation. Okay, this diagram, only schematic representation. If they have asked, no need of this diagram. You have to draw that schematic representation which I have shown in your in my notes, and this one in the textbook. And you should know the ploidy of that. Spermatogonia diploid, primary spermatocytes diploid, secondary spermatocytes haploid, spermatids haploid, sperms haploid. Okay, so this is about spermatogenesis. You should know about that one in detail. Now I shall talk about the hormones which are involved, which are required for the spermatogenesis. Okay, hormones which are required for spermatogenesis. Which hormone? First it will start with the gonadotropin releasing hormone, GnRH. Okay, gonadotropin releasing hormone. Now what is this hormone? Now this hormone is released by hypothalamus. It is an hypothalamic hormone. This was there in your first year syllabus. Okay, first year syllabus, last chapter you have about this hormones. Hypothalamus will secrete gonadotropin releasing hormone. This gonadotropin releasing hormone, it is going to stimulate anterior pituitary. It will act on anterior pituitary gland. Even pituitary gland you have in the last chapter of first year. Okay, anterior pituitary gland, and it secretes two gonadotropins. Two gonadotropins are secreted by anterior pituitary gland. Okay, now which are those two gonadotropins? First one is luteinizing hormone, another one is follicle stimulating hormone. Luteinizing hormone, another one is follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, now these two hormones are the gonadotropins which are secreted by anterior pituitary gland. Anterior pituitary gland is stimulated by gonadotropin. This gonadotropin is released by hypothalamus. Now we shall see what are their functions. Luteinizing hormone, it acts on Leydig cells. Okay, it acts on Leydig cells. Now these Leydig cells, they will stimulate and synthesize androgens. Okay, now androgens, they will stimulate, androgen will stimulate spermatogenesis. Okay, now luteinizing hormone, what does it do? It acts on Leydig cells. Where does this Leydig cells are present? These are present between the seminiferous tubules. What is their function? The function is to produce testosterone or androgens. Okay, Leydig cells, they are getting stimulated to produce androgens. Now androgens, they stimulate spermatogenesis, which means they are making the process of formation of sperms, right? That is the function of LH. Now what is the function of FSH? FSH will act on Sertoli cells. Okay, FSH will act on Sertoli cells and it will stimulate, okay, Sertoli cells. It will stimulate and secretion of some factors. Some factors are getting secreted which help in spermiogenesis. Okay, fine. I shall start with the beginning. This is the diagrammatic representation of how does hormones are involved in the spermatogenesis. Hypothalamus will secrete gonadotropin releasing hormone. This hormone will stimulate anterior pituitary gland, so that this anterior pituitary gland should secrete two gonadotropins. One is LH, another one is FSH. Now this LH will act on Leydig cells, so that it will stimulate and produce androgens. These androgens will, what do? They help for spermatogenesis, right? FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, it will act on Sertoli cells and it will stimulate and helps in secretion of some factors, those factors which help in spermiogenesis. What we said, spermiogenesis, the process of conversion of spermatid into sperms, that we said it as spermiogenesis. Okay, so this is schematic representation. If you remember, it will be very easy for you all to understand. Hope you got this information. Okay, and this complete like this diagrammatic representation you don't have in your textbook, but about it you have here on page number 47. After this diagram, the next paragraph what you have here, this paragraph. Okay, this paragraph is completely about that. If you know about that, then it is enough. And this is the gametogenesis in males. Okay, that is spermatogenesis in males. And I shall stop here, and I would like to continue with the same next one. In my next video, I would like to discuss about the structure of sperm. Okay, that sperm which has been produced here, which we are showing very easily something like this, but actually its structure is something like this. So we shall discuss about its structure in my next video. If you have any queries, any doubts, please comment it in the comment box, and please subscribe to my channel. Okay, we shall meet in the next video. Stay safe, stay healthy.